Hi, my name is Pedro Iniga, sir, and I watch Shadow Ridge School's YouTube channel.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Welcome to Out of the Shadows with Sean. I'm your host and my co-host here.
Gianmarco Mendez.
My other co-host.
Christopher Jimenez.
And then, last but not least,
Jazlene, Quito.
So, I'm going to start you off with a question. Where were you born at?
Where was I born? I was born up in kind of the valley area in Agoura, California.
Okay.
Middle of nowhere. Back in the early 70s.
Oh, wow.
So, could you describe, like, your early years growing up? Like, what did you do? Like,
Well, I think it was obviously back before, Atari was new.
Wow.
So we rode bikes, we rode skateboards, we caused trouble in the hills, we caught snakes and lizards, and, did stuff that kids should do, but a little bit more outdoorsy, I guess, than what we would probably do now.
Sure.
Who influenced you the most growing up?
Well, I would say my family. I have two brothers and my mom and my dad, and I kind of looked at things as take the good, the bad, and everything in between, and figure out who you want to be as a person. And I learned a lot from them. And I think I'm a big mishmash of everything that's been around me. So hopefully most of the good stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
What prompted you to enter this field of employment?
Oh boy. Well, I had no idea. So I'm in metrology, which is the science of measurement. And I had no idea what that was. I'm actually an electrical engineer in ECE from Cal Poly Pomona.
Right. Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to go into a high-tech field, but I kind of had no idea. As getting your bachelor's degree, you still don't know what you want to do. You just kind of find where the work is.
Yeah.
And so my wife, I was recently married, and my wife had a friend that worked at Hexagon, and it's now called Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence. And so she said, you should take a look at this. And I didn't know very much about manufacturing or quality or really anything out in the industry, because this was over 17 years ago. So I was pretty much new to the industry.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a CMM was, which is a coordinate measurement machine. I didn't know what laser scanners did, things like that. And so it was a couple miles from my house, so I applied, and now I'm 17 years as of last month.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Hope that answers your question.
So, could you describe, like, Hexagon's place in industrial manufacturing?
Boy, everything you can touch, feel, use. As I look around here, I see people have shoes on and necklaces and water bottles and everything, and we're into everything. So CAD, CAM, quality, design, manufacturing, anything you can think of. I mean, I work on things from kids' braces to standing in an F-35 the next day. So it really depends on what my job for that week or day or everything is. So, I mean, you've got a water bottle in front of you. They need to measure that cap. They need to make sure that the tooling is correct.
Yeah.
They need to make sure that it fits, that it seals. We are from cradle to grave. We can work on that. Oakley glasses, anything you can think of.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So you guys, like, specialize in, like, the things we use in every day, or?
From submicron to, we measure things and manufacture and help manufacture things from submicron to, we have scan cities.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So you say that, I know this kind of is like repeating the question, but what do you do? Like, what is your
What do I do?
like,
What do I specifically do?
Like
So-
your job label, I guess.
Good question. So what I specifically do is I handle our portable arms, our portable coordinate measurement machines that have laser scanners and probes. I also work with our photogrammetry systems, which is our icon group and our structured light. So a lot of different measurement devices for measuring parts or reverse engineering.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
If you can comment, where do you see manufacturing in the next 20 to 30 years?
Wow, 20 to 30 years. Well, you guys kind of grew up with 3D printing already around, right?
Yeah.
So when I was in community college, I went to Saddleback and Irvine Valley College. They were kind of saying, "Hey, Scott, you should try this new thing called 3D printing." And I was, kind of like, okay, printing wire, with plastic and making parts,
Yeah.
which is really neat because you can make things that you could never make before.
Yeah.
And so, with things like that and manufacturing, we are able to do things that we couldn't do many years ago. Now, machine shops and manufacturing facilities used to be kind of the thought it was a dirty facility, and it's just dark and dirty and machines running and things like that. But it's very, very high tech now, and it's just going to get more high tech where you have more automation, you have more tighter tolerances. You're building things that like vertical takeoff aircrafts now, and things that used to be just a helicopter. Now it's a drone. Now that drone you ride on. Right.
Oh, wow.
So there's so many different facets that we can go to with manufacturing, and I just see a lot more automation, a lot more design that is just breaking the things we thought were rules.
Yeah, that's like a crazy concept to think about.
I mean, back years ago it was just calipers and a drill press, right?
Yeah.
Now we're using full automation and 5-axis machines to create parts that we never could before.
Yeah. I have like a question off the record, or like off the actual questions. Does AI play like any part in like your day-to-day job?
We have AI and all the different softwares that run our hardwares. It just depends on what what that AI is used for.
What's your main source? Like do you use AI in your job?
Well,
like,
I mean,
what you do?
AI is embedded kind of, you click on something with your mouse and it's already doing something and making decisions, right? So it really depends on what software and what hardware you're using to do that with. And of course, it's going to be more embedded as things go, but there's, when you're manufacturing a part, you're creating a cutting path, things like that. It's making decisions for you so that you don't crash or you don't do things, that cost money.
Yeah.
So, on top of the AI, where do you stand with AI right now? Like, do you think eventually it's going to replace everybody, or do you think it's just going to...
You can never replace people. Sorry. You can argue with me all day long, but they said in the 80s in Japan they would take over and all the robots and everything would take everybody's jobs. Well, you need people to run the robots.
Yeah,
people
for sure.
Different
Maintenance
jobs
and stuff like that.
Well, that or program them. So, AI, you still need to program it to do a task.
For sure, yeah.
And so you can't just say, okay, computer or Siri, go do this. It's,
Yeah.
that's, maybe decades, hundreds of years away that we're going to do more things with it, but you still need people.
Yeah,
Always gotta
for
need
sure.
people.
So, being in such an advanced field of employment, if a student is interested in it, what should they do to prepare?
Well, my son is doing this, and I didn't push him into this, and he's in a lot of clubs, and he's in a lot of different things that he's interested in, like robotics club, anything that sparks an interest. Join something that will build your resume, because it'll help you later on to also figure out what you want to do. You guys are here filming, and this is obviously an interest. You weren't forced to do this, but I would assume this is going to be somewhat of a path or a cross path that brings you somewhere. So go and do the things that interest you, whether it's science, math, art, technology, whatever it is. Just get in there and do it, and don't be shy. And it's fun because you end up meeting friends along the way that'll be lifelong friends, and they also will help network each other to get where you want in your life and your path for career and family or whatever your choice is.
Yeah. Kind of going off of that, I know it's kind of like going to cross over this question, but what advice would you give, or like a quote or something that could help people maybe get through a hard time or like a hard point in this, trying to pursue this career?
Oh boy. Well, I don't have any quotes offhand, but I would say, don't sweat the little things, I guess.
Yeah. Because
the big picture is you being happy and making the living that you want to make.
For sure.
And not making work. Enjoy. You should find something you enjoy.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't have to make millions of dollars. You can be happy just getting by.
Sure.
Yeah.
But as long as you're doing something where you go to work every day saying, I get to go to work, not that I have to go to work.
What was like some of the toughest things you went through?
Well, it's one of the toughest things with having a job is usually, and with this company or any company, I would say, is you have a task that you have to do tomorrow, and you don't know anything about it, and you got to figure it out today. And so sometimes you have to sink or swim. And I would say most people that will do their college degree whether it's associates, bachelor's, PhD, they will get it done. And that's one of the reasons employers look for that, because they know that, hey, they went through this hard time of getting all these tasks done.
Yeah.
That they can depend on them to get the things done that come up at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even a degree, or even going to the military or doing something.
Yeah.
Showing sticking with it. An employer knows that they can lean on you, and that's why you're getting paid.
Yeah.
It's like experience, pretty much.
Yeah, experience, but pushing through those hard times, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And the nice thing is, once you get through it, you're done. You're happy. You feel accomplished, and it's almost like a runner's high, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just want to say thank you, and thank you for taking time out of your day to come to our podcast.
Thanks for having me.
And we understand that you have a demonstration. I don't know if we're going to do that right now.
We also have a special basket for you.
All right.
Some swag.
Fantastic.
Yeah, some
Thank
swag.
you. All right. Hi, my name is Scott Zanio from Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence. What I brought up today, this is a Hexagon Absolute Arm. This has a laser scanner on it. It takes up to 1.2 million points a second with 5/10 of a thousandth of an inch accuracy. It also has a probe on it. This system itself is around plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch accuracy over 8 feet. That's about the thickness of a third of the thickness of a human hair. So what we can do with this is we can laser scan. You can see I can pick up black, I can pick up blue, I can pick up anything. I can pick up chrome, and I can do your books, anything basically you need this laser scan to reverse engineer. We can also get into other features that we can't get the laser scan with the probe, so what we do is we touch on the features and we get what we need. And so this is pretty typical in any manufacturing or quality room that they need to check parts and make reports, things like that. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's always something fun here at Shadow Ridge School.
Hi, it's in Shadow Ridge School, the best indie in the HD.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah Fowler and I'm from Shadow Ridge, the best indie school out here in Hesperia. You know what it is.